Hey, welcome back. Now that we have the foundation of our community set, we're ready to start creating projects and bringing in feedback about our products. So this video is all about defining what a project is, creating a project within Centercode, and then we're also going to quickly review the Project Kickoff Dashboard. So let's go ahead and check it out. All right, so before we go ahead and create a project, let's define what a project is. So projects are going to be those dedicated spaces where we recruit testers, plan phases, test features, and deliver those actionable insights to our stakeholders. Now, some useful project tools that we have available to us include dedicated feedback types like issues, ideas, and praise, informative dashboards like product success and project overview, and automated tester engagement through our virtual team member TED. And all of these things allow us to deliver high quality, impactful feedback. It allows us to track the impact of our project on the quality of our product, and also allows us to manage our tests in a way where we're getting the maximum amount of coverage across the entire test for our product. So now that we know more, let's go ahead and create a project. All right, so to create a project, we'll start at the community home, and we'll go right up to the top right, and we'll click on Create a Project. Now here you can see I have two options. One of them is a template to basically copy over a lot of the settings from a previous project that I ran. And the other is to create a Centercode Delta test. Now, if this is your first project in Centercode, you'll be taken straight to the project creation screen. In order to create a project template, that's something that you need to do within your project settings. So we'll go ahead and we'll create our Centercode Delta test. And we're brought directly to this page. So first things first, let's give our project a cool code name. Call this Solaris. You can see right over here, it gives us some example usage of what this is going to look like throughout the project and then other areas of our platform. And then we're going to define the project type. So we have two options here. We have a continuous test. So this would be, testing from pre-release all the way to the end of the lifespan of a product. And then we have time box, which is going to be your traditional, let's say 6 to 8 week test where we have a definitive start and a definitive end. It's a specific set amount of time. We're going to be creating a 6-week test here. So this is going to be a time boxed test. And then for exposure, we have two options. We have an open project. So this is like a beta test that's open to the public. Lots of different people can join. It's not really confidential. And then we have private, which is, of course, confidential, closed, meant to be secure. And we actually have a great webinar that talks about the differences between public and private betas. And I definitely invite you to go ahead and check that out. This is going to be a confidential test. So I'm going to click on private here. And then for project style, this is just going to determine how the project looks on our community home. So we can click on this here. We can select a color. I think I'm going to go with a nice, let's say, kind of bright green. And then I'll select an icon. We'll just type in a globe. And we'll select this globe icon here. Perfect. Visual theme. We have the option to use the pre-existing community theme, or we can select from some of the other visual themes that we've configured at the community level. I'm just going to use the community theme. It looks great. And we use it just across the entire site. So using the community theme is great for me. Dashboard time zone. So this determines when things like phases start and end in your project. Typically, you're just going to set this to your time zone. So for me, it would be like Pacific Standard Time. And that's what I have on my user profile. So it would just automatically apply it to that. But let's say you have a majority of testers who are maybe on the East Coast of the United States, or they're in Germany, etc. They're in a time zone that's not yours. It would be best to set the project or dashboard time zone to that time zone. And of course, you can click on this and select from all the different time zones that are available. Again, I'm just going to use community user settings. It works for my project here. And then last bit here is our project key. You'll see this is the exact same as our project code name. This is a unique identifier that allows us to, if we're going to export a report from this project or something like that, it defines that, hey, this report came from this project. So this always needs to be unique. It can be whatever you want as long as the project key is not shared with another project. And if you always use a unique code name for your project, you're not going to run into any issues here. So this, again, is totally fine. Next up are the product details. So this is us telling Centercode what we're testing, how much impact it has on our brand, how much it's going to cost, etc. And all of that factors into some of our suggestions with Ted and how he behaves in the platform. So this is a Sirius Security 3 home security hub. It's the brand new generation of our smart home system. And this product type is connected hardware. So we have hardware and then we have an app that goes along with this hardware. Product market is going to be consumers. So just your standard consumer, anyone who's in the market for a smart home device. And product price, this is between $250 and $499. Brand impact, so this is kind of a hero product for us. It's one of our big releases throughout the year. So I'm going to set the brand impact as high. And again, this is us communicating to Centercode, the platform, what we're testing. That way we can do some stuff on the back end to test properly. Last bit here is our audience profile. So who exactly are we testing with? Is this an internal test where we have all of our employees joining and it's kind of more of a dogfooding situation? Are we bringing in testers that we've actually paid for and we've hired kind of a focus group to come in and test? Is it a mix of different testers? Is it potential consumers and people who have used other Sirius cybernetic products before? That's how we're going to define all this. So audience profile. For this, I'm going to say target market. So really it's the people that we expect to go out and buy a smart home device. And then effort expectation. How much effort do we expect them to kind of produce while testing? This is based on, how many sort of high effort features we have versus low effort features. So if it's a product that requires a lot of, maybe outside installation or testing a certain feature or a set of features, takes a lot of time and really requires a lot of focus, that would be a higher effort expectation. Whereas something that's more or less kind of more consumer focused, where it's like, hey, set up your account, connect things via Bluetooth, check the battery life, etc. If those are kind of make up the general theme of our features there, that would be kind of very low effort expectation. And this allows us to properly manage our tester fatigue. So testers aren't, completing one or two activities and saying, this is too much, and then, they dip out. We can properly manage their fatigue, make sure that we're getting full coverage on the product and delivering that great feedback. For us, with our Sirius Security 3 set, we have a combination of higher effort features and lower effort features. So I'm just going to select medium. And then based on everything that I've entered on this page here, Centercode is going to recommend a certain number of testers. So for us right here, it's 120. But let's say you only have 50 or 100 test units to give out. So you're sort of limited in how many testers you can have in this project. That's totally fine. You can change this number whenever you'd like. So I'm going to set it to 50. I've got 50 test units available to me. And if I want to reset this, just click on the button and it's going to reset it to that recommended number. Now that we have everything set up with our basic project settings here, let's go ahead and launch the project. We'll click submit. Preparing for liftoff. We're doing all the awesome stuff in the background. And in just a couple seconds, we should have our project successfully launched. Now, the first thing that we actually see when we enter our project is going to be a special dashboard that allows us to go through project setup very, very quickly. And you can see here we go. Our project is launched. We have that wonderful confetti falling down. And this is the Project Kickoff Dashboard. Now, we've set this up as a useful checklist that you can go through in order to properly set up your project and be ready to go for testing. So for example, we start with a link to Centercode University. From there, we can configure things like project teams. So if we want to set up new participant teams and new applicant teams, we can do that right there. We can configure the onboarding journey that they're going to experience. So going through things like notices and application surveys and whatnot. We can also configure recruitment. So how are they actually going to get into our project? Then we can schedule our phases and features. So we can, actually schedule our tests and have those meaningful phases where we're testing specific features and having specific kind of areas that our project's in, whether that's onboarding, engagement, or closure. We can also configure feedback types. So if we need to edit any of our feedback forms, we can do that via this panel. We can enable TED, so we have automated tester engagement running in the background. Then, of course, we can invite users. We can review their feedback once they've submitted it in the system. We can survey our participants to get more sentiments and more user input that way. And then finally, we can discover and share those insights with our stakeholders through our dashboards. So now that we have our project created and ready to go, in our next video, we'll cover how to actually schedule our phases and features. So I'll see you there.